Three, two, one. This is the UR Business Network.
Hi, and welcome to the New York Real Estate Journal radio show. I'm Eric Wilson with the ever-handsome Rick Kaplan.
That's so correct, Eric.
This show is brought to you by the New York Real Estate Journal, bringing together the commercial real estate industry for over 25 years. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this show, call 800-654-4993 or email us at radio@nyrej.com. Again, that's 800-654-4993 or email us at radio@nyrej.com. And today's guest is going to be Carl Schiovone of Carl Schiovone Associates Real Estate Coaching Incorporated. Rick, I know this is a great guest for you. You've been always wanting to invest in commercial real estate, so...
I just need a coach.
Life coach?
A life coach.
Yeah, fantastic. Why do you need a life coach, Rick?
Yeah, you want me to go? We only have 20 minutes.
I thought you wanted to build your future. Carl's about to join us here real shortly on the phone. Carl's also the president of the East Coast Real Estate Investors Association. He's going to touch a little bit upon that. He's going to touch about what type of challenges new investors face, what kind of business model is a great place for novice investors to start, and what type of challenges experienced investors face when trying to bring their business to the next level of success. So, Carl, are you there?
Hello, Rick and Eric. Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Carl, why don't you tell us a little bit about who needs a real estate coach and why?
Excellent. Well, before we get started, I just wanted to thank both of you as well as the New York Real Estate Journal for having me on this great show. We look forward to an outstanding call here today. So, yeah, why don't we get right into it? I get this question quite frequently when I do lecture across the country, and really my answers kind of remain the same. A coach really can be utilized by really anyone who's interested in improving, their business and personal performance. Primarily, a coach is there to help in the development of effective goals, setting objectives. It helps to hold the client, accountable, and that's really one of the biggest challenges as a coach, is to keep your client on track with what they should be doing. And sometimes it actually comes down to even giving them a boot in the pants when needed, because as an investor, whether they're a new investor or an investor trying to get their business to the next model, we see sometimes that they can't seem to get any traction, and sometimes we just have to kind of give them a little kick in the butt. Now, to counter that, we also have people that we actually have to reel them in. So coaching is not just about pushing, it's also about holding back when you see that your client may be exposed. So, for example, if your client is heading towards a bad deal or a bad relationship, sometimes you do have to stand in the way and say, we really need to kind of look at that and see if that's really the right move for you. One of the things that I do get a lot in this business is pushback. I don't need coaching. I've been doing this for 15 years, 20 years. And my response to that is always the same. You could really never be too successful to have a coach, a mentor, or a business advisor. You may outgrow your coach. You may leave them in the dust with your growth. However, you're never going to outgrow the need, for coaching.
Right.
And if you look at some of the best in class in business and sports, many use advisors or coaches that have helped them get them to where they are and to help them continue to grow. So coaching is something that's not a one-shot deal. It's a relationship that will go on and on and on and build as your business grows. So that's kind of the short answer to that one.
So, Carl, when you are hired to be a coach, how long is the normal process that they would hire you for? Or do they keep you on a retainer?
Well, the way my particular program works is I'm looking for a long-term commitment. I've been in the business for well over 32 years, so I have many relationships where people will call me and just want to get an insight on a particular project, and I'll try to help them. However, when I'm trying to secure a relationship with a client I really want a commitment on both ends. So generally speaking, we're looking for a year commitment. Sometimes we will do a 6-month commitment, and it really will depend on based on what they are trying to achieve. And the way that our particular program is geared is once the first set of courses and programs are completed, we can continue to move forward from there. I've been coaching some of the same people literally for years and years, and it's based on not saying that we're done. It's about, okay, we've completed what we started out to, now what next? So it's an ongoing relationship from there.
So when you are you working with an individual? You say a company. Are you working with all the employees of the company?
Generally speaking, I am working one-on-one with particular business owners or particular investors or realtors. My primary focus is real estate. It focuses primarily on the realtor and the real estate investor and how they can grow their business. As far as group coaching, we kind of handle that in the seminars that we provide, where it's not necessarily a coaching relationship, it is more of a teaching relationship.
So, Carl, as I'm obviously new to this in the investment side of the things, what kind of specific investment business model would be good for me, like as a novice person? Where would I start, and how would I even start to get into this?
That's a great question, and I have to say that's probably the most popular question that I address. And really, it's going to come to a couple of factors. It's going to include, first of all, your own personal interest and whether or not you have the capital to get there and how much of that capital. For example, if you only have $100,000 to invest, you may not be buying an office building. However, you may be able to buy a small multifamily apartment building. So it really is going to depend on that. It's going to depend on your time. Some people will come to me and say, Carl, I want to be a property flipper, which right now is very hot. It's by far the most hottest business model. I think a lot of the TV shows have really popularized that to the point where everyone walking down the street wants to do flipping. And that's a great thing to do. However, if you are, working full-time, you're the coach of your son's Little League, you're a Boy Scout leader, that's not a viable option for you if you plan on doing the project management yourself. So you have the time element, you have the interest, you have the location. But by far, from a risk standpoint, the hold-to-rent business model clearly, in my opinion, is one of the most secure models because historically it has remained steadfast with regards to the extremely high demand. And we're seeing that in the extremely low national vacancy rates. I mean, in some areas, the vacancy rates are pushing the occupancy rates are pushing 98%, very low vacancy. So that is really one of the sweet spots where many new investors are going, and where they're going is the single family and the multifamily business model.
That's funny. I was just going to ask you that, Carl. I was going to ask you, how is the market now, and is this a good time to become educated in the commercial real estate industry? Is this a good time to get, change my finances that way?
Right now is a wonderful time, and the reason is because, first of all, there's a great opportunity out there. Lenders are now getting back on track, actually funding properties that make sense through the use of self-directed IRAs and leveraging private lenders. There is capital that's available that was not before. The kind of the bubble that had broken still remains to leave many properties available with great creative financing possibilities. So yeah, this is certainly a perfect time for you to leverage the current economic climate of inventory. The cost of funds is historically low, and the fact that people still need to be creative in getting out of their existing situation. So yeah, right now it's a wonderful opportunity, and we're seeing that just by the increased attention in virtually everything that we do, whether it's the seminars, the lectures, the things of that nature. There's just a big hot topic right now.
So,
and when you couple that with the fact that many people in corporate America are not pleased with the stability of their current career path or their investment options. I mean, if you have a couple of $100,000, unless you're doing speculative investing on Wall Street, there are not great options there. When you kind of leverage that into real estate, you can now open up a complete new world for you.
So, Carl, are you working with these, let's call them newbies, coming into the business, or are you working with the veterans? And also, so when are you coming out with your reality show? Huh?
Well, that's a great question. Let me start by answering the first two parts of that. My client base is split between people who have never done a real estate transaction before and are now ready to go, and people who have many, many years experience. I have clients who have gotten 20, 30 years experience in the business, and they just need help getting and keeping on top of their game. And it's kind of funny that you ask about the TV show, because we always kind of enjoy just some downtime to watch some of the shows that are on TV, and clearly they don't even closely represent the reality of some of these dynamics of the business. And but I think that's what's also encouraging the high interest level. For people to get involved doing a rehab and a flip, and in 3 to 4 months making, $30, $50, $100,000, that's reality. That's not fantasy. Right. And that's what's really pushing the interest levels in all segments.
So I have a two-part question here. The first question is, I know that you're about to release a textbook on property rehabbing and flipping. And second, do you also offer like a course itinerary? Is it like almost school in the sense of your coaching, or is it more of in a consultancy base where maybe it's once a week we go in and we look through some stuff, or is it like actual, almost like schoolwork?
Great question. With coaching, the difference between coaching and teaching is you're at a chalkboard or equivalent, going over material with an audience that's watching you, and the expectations there is that they're going to actually comprehend that. With coaching, yes, there is core material, of which I have written my entire curriculum, as well as using industry available textbooks. They are reading and doing practical experiences and exercises during the time between our actual session. And our session is merely a review of what they did, any challenges that they had, and how we need to adjust their performance accordingly if they ran into certain difficulties. If, for example, they read about certain material that we had assigned them and they have challenges, we would then go over that particular material. What sets the program apart from some of the national programs is I have the benefit of being small enough where we actually create an individual relationship with each of our clients. And since I'm the only one doing the coaching, it is not like we work with literally hundreds and hundreds of coaching clients. And that's kind of the way that I want to approach this. So they have virtually access to us directly. If they're in the middle of a deal, negotiating a deal, they will pick up the phone, they will call us. If they run into a problem, they're doing a property site search or some due diligence that they're running into problems, that's kind of the format. And that's what really, my version of what coaching really is.
And what do we expect from your textbook?
Well, it's going to be very interesting and different. As you can imagine, property flipping and rehabbing has been around forever, and along with that comes literally dozens and dozens of books that have been written on that topic. What my textbook will offer is kind of a unique view and more of a practical view on how to get into the business, how to become extremely successful with not only the theoretical aspects of the business, but actually the theoretical and practical aspects as well. So, for example, when we talk about a business plan, the need of a business plan, the importance of it, we're also actually creating a business plan as part of the textbook homework. So it really is truly a handbook of sorts, and it is really something unique in the current offerings. And that book right now, we're hoping for a release towards the end of this year.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Yeah, you're good.
My mic just cut out. I'm sorry. So, Carl, if you're, what gave you the insight to become a coach? You know, what has something that happened in your career that had inspired you to be a coach?
Well, that's an interesting point. First of all, my inherent personality is I just truly enjoy helping people and to see others succeed. That is kind of part of what makes what I do successful. However, I did see an actual need for it because I came up with, many years watching these late night infomercials, people buying into programs. The vast majority of these programs, for most of the people, never worked. And I just felt compelled that I had to offer something that's different. I also saw so many people being taken advantage of from opportunists who are reaching out to people at networking events and all the other types of business development venues. And I felt the need to kind of spread the word because, in our organization, we have kind of a saying that I keep pressing to my members is that we in this room have the experience where no one should ever be in a bad deal. And that is my mission, is that anyone who's part of my network will never be part of a bad deal. And so far, we're holding a good history there. So that was really what inspired me. And, I have leveraged my background, being a very methodical, process-oriented individual, to be able to put some of these complex things down in a way where even someone who does not have the full understanding can get through the process very, very simply.
All right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit here real quick. You're the president of the East Coast Real Estate Investors Association as well. What is that association, and who are the members of that?
Excellent. My wife and my partner, Eileen, and I have been running this group for nearly 3 years. And East Coast Real Estate Investors Association is a member of National RIA, which is an oversight organization that oversees these organizations nationally. And we kind of started this organization because we did not like the direction of where some of the associations were headed, and we wanted to offer a very unique experience focusing only on providing live education, networking, and business development for real estate investors, realtors, and associated industries. There's a tremendous amount of business that's done in the room, and I feel it's real important, and one of the areas that I feel many business owners fall down on is networking. Networking, in my opinion, is the number one marketing strategy that you can deploy. So when we meet every month on Long Island, we have anywhere between 60 and 80 people in the room, and they're all trying to do business together. And there is a lot of business that goes on in that room, and that's what really is really what our mission is all about, is to have a safe haven where you're not going to be approached to buy something, and obviously there are people in that room that can help you if you do need assistance. So that was really the drive for East Coast RIA.
Well, Carl, thank you for joining us here. You've given us a plethora of information on both your real estate coaching incorporation and as well as the East Coast Real Estate Investors Association. How would someone get in touch with you to learn more about your education offerings, hiring you as a personal coach, or even looking into the East Coast Real Estate Association?
Absolutely. Well, thank you. East Coast RIA, you can visit us at www.eastcoastria.net. That's eastcoastreia.net. And you can also call our office at 631-750-1563. And what I do like to say is, for those people who are struggling and who really want to kind of get a taste of the coaching environment and relationship, we do offer a complete complimentary, no obligation call where we just talk about what struggles you're facing and how you may be able to overcome them. And I always guarantee the caller that you will definitely leave with a very solid action plan. So for anyone interested in taking advantage of that, that's available for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Carl, for joining us.
Thank you, Carl.
Rick and Eric, thank you so much for this opportunity. And it was truly an honor to be on this call. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks again. That was Carl Schiovone, the president and CEO of Carl Schiovone Associates, the Real Estate Coaching Incorporation. Rick, I know when I came into this show, I told you you're going to learn some things about real estate investment. What'd you take away?
That I need a coach.
You better get on that complimentary call immediately. Well, we appreciate it. What a great show. I mean, there's tons of information. That show is brought to you by the New York Real Estate Journal, bringing together the commercial real estate industry for over 25 years. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor, you can call 800-654-4993 or email radio@nyrej.com. Again, that's 800-654-4993 or email radio@nyrej.com. And that was Rick and Eric, and you just listened to the New York Real Estate Journal radio show.